now we're gonna build posts, but first I just wanted to show you. I got the other post off, and I scrubbed his ears real good with the Johnson's baby shampoo because I had used some of the Detach-All. I don't want to leave any of that residue on there because it'll irritate the skin. And then I did put just a little dot of Neosporin. There was one little spot on his ear that looked a little irritated, so I did that. And then I wanted to point out too, since this is your puppy, he's got a little tooth mark right here, so I put a little Neosporin on that. And then he's also got, and he'll get more probably as he becomes a teenager, he's got one or two little bumps here that we typically just call that puppy acne, and you can actually use like Oxy-10, just a little dot on there. But that's real drying, so you don't want to use too much of it, and once they start to shrink up, then you just stop and let them heal. You can see his ears look great. Here, show him yours. Good puppy. Good puppy. Go. There you go. Good boy. So he looks beautiful. Alright, so let me show you how to do the posts. What you're going to need now is, again, lots of people have lots of different ways of doing posts. This is just how I do it. But anything which is, about that long and round, you're going to want to maybe slowly increase the width of your post as he grows and his ears grow. But for now, I'm using a straw, and I'm going to wrap it in just a gauze sponge, which you can get, at any medical supply kind of place. And my tape is that same Zonus Johnson & Johnson tape that I know you already got. Okay, so for each post, I'm going to use one straw and one, whatever you call this, gauze piece. And like I said, as they grow, I'll do one, and then I'll do 1.5, and then I'll do 2. And then also, these straws are not fabulous. If you can get the straws like from McDonald's, are stronger and a little bit wider. So, but I haven't been to McDonald's, so I'm using this kind. And I just lay that on top of the gauze, kind of in the middle, and I want to leave at the bottom, leave about 1/4 inch, because you want to make sure you have a nice padding. You don't want that sharp end of the straw digging into the base of his ear. Okay, so leave yourself a good 1/4 inch down there, and then you want to just use a couple of pieces of tape to keep that in place. That's just so once the straw is wrapped in there, you don't want it to slide up and down. So just a couple pieces of tape to keep it in place. Alright, and then I roll it. Before I roll it though, if I remember, which is good, I just tear a couple pieces of tape that I'll use to keep it in place. Okay, so do that, and then I snug that. I want that gauze nice and snug. So snug that up, roll it. Okay, and then my tape that I brought, I'm going to just put one at the top and one at the bottom to keep it in place. And it wiggles around, and that's kind of okay. Alright, so I got, again, those tapes are just to hold it in place. And now the idea is I'm going to wrap all the way around on the way down, sticky side towards the gauze just to give it that added strength. And then I'm going to turn around and go all the way back up with the sticky side out so that the sticky side is out and it'll stick to his ear. So I start at the top with my tape, and you want to, overlap. On each round you want to overlap the previous round, maybe about half the width of the tape. Go round and round and round. Try to keep it as nice and snug as you can. Alright, and again, I want to make sure this part, which is going into the base of the ear, has this nice cushion on the bottom, so I'm not going to go quite all the way to the bottom. I'll go about to the end of the straw, so about that quarter, maybe 3/8 of an inch up. Okay, so there it is wrapped, sticky side toward the gauze. Now I'm just going to take that tape, flip it around, go the other way, so that, and you go all the way around the base once, just to lock it in place, and then come all the way back up, now sticky side out. Out all the way up, and then the top round, make sure you go all the way around and stick to itself so it stays secure. And that's it, there's my post. And then I don't really like the look of that funny little straw coming out the top, so I just cut that top off. And these are going to be a little long for Spike, so what I'm actually going to do is once I bring him back on the table, the first thing I'll do, you'll see, is I'll stick one in his ear, measure about how tall I want it to need, take it out, and cut off any extra.